This episode includes an apparition story from the Way of the M Trail, plus a reading from my book, The Very Fine Light. The Facebook and Twitter accounts for Nico Steves are live. Please find me. Check for Nico Steves, but on Twitter you may need to type in Steves Nikos as my handle. Now, I value hearing from you, and though everything that is the most current about my book, The Very Fine Light, emanates from here, now these other social media outlets will include current updates. Anything you can do to spread the word is greatly appreciated. Now, I want to read a sequence from the book. Here's Petros Trokis, an immigrant originally from Greece who recently arrived in Canalville with his wife Anna and their 3 children. Down on the canal path, Randy struggled to climb the snow-covered embankment from the canal walkway to the street level. Once on top, he looked at the clock tower and checked the time. I'm supposed to be there right now. Randy started to walk fast in the direction of the VFW hall. All at once, a rush of angst infiltrated his body, sending chills through him. He paused. Is this the right direction? What's happening to me? Hoping he was not losing self-control from the drinks he had down on the canal bed, Randy now took note of his giant walking gait as compared to several cars as they drove by. He looked up at the clock tower again. It's past time. I gotta get over there pronto. Suddenly, he spotted Petros driving past. Randy bolted into the intersection, chasing after the car. A loud blast sound of a horn made Randy leap almost a foot into the air as a transit bus swerved and just missed him. A middle-aged couple with a bunch of shopping bags were at the intersection. The wife screamed out to Randy, "Watch out, you maniac! Are you on drugs or something?" But Randy did not care. He started waving his hands wildly and screaming, "Mr. Petros, stop, stop!" The bus horn had startled Petros, and he looked into his car's rearview mirror and saw a larger-than-life Randy flailing his arms. "What the heck?" Petros said aloud. Not sure what to make of it, he pulled over to the curb. Randy was now gasping for air, but began banging on the driver's side window. Petros rolled down the car window. Randy spoke between gulps of air. "Quick, I need a ride to the VFW." Noting alcohol on Randy's breath, Petros was surprised to see Randy so agitated. "Why, what has happened? My wife and children are there," Petros asked with concern in his voice. No, nothing. I just have to play Santa Claus, and I'm late," Randy choked out as he struggled to catch his breath. Relieved, Petros said slowly, "Are you sure you are all right to play Santa Claus?" "Of course, it's for my community service sentence." Petros studied Randy for a moment. "Please, it's critical I get there," Randy said. Petros stared at the reflection in his side view mirror. Randy usually knows what he's doing, and that's the most sincere tone I've ever heard from him. Petros said with a bit of anxiety in his voice, "Okay, get in." To save time, Randy opened the back door behind the driver rather than walking around to the front of the passenger door. He barely got in before Petros' old car came to life. Wanting to sober up, Randy rolled down the window using the manual hand crank. He took a few breaths of the cold winter air. As he started to take another breath, out of the corner of his eye, he spotted the wall of flat-screen televisions in a storefront. All of them had been set to the same channel. Each had an identical image on their screens. It was a TV reporter pointing to a map of the North Pole. These duplicate images on all the flat-screen TVs gave Randy a start, and he said out loud, I'm seeing double or something. Damn, what was in that drink?" And now part 2 of this podcast, the apparition of the Virgin Mary, who appeared 15 times following a letter from a woman on her deathbed. This installment takes a look at another of the apparitions of the Virgin Mary, known as Our Lady of Pellevoisin. A young woman just 33 years old is lying on her deathbed in the year 1876. This is when the Madonna appeared not once, but 15 times to the young woman Estelle Faggetta, Many amazing results from these 15 appearances to Estelle by the Madonna occurred. Oh yes, did I mention her immediate recovery? For you see, Estelle lived for another 50 years, passing away in the year 1929. There are a few unique components to this story. The miraculous recovery took place after the seer received her last rites. The visionary is associated with the creation of the famous Sacred Heart of Jesus scapula, not to be confused with the badge of the Sacred Heart. And finally, apparently it's said the Virgin Mary came to see Estelle because of a letter Estelle wrote to the Virgin Mary. Here's a translation with excerpts of the note she sent to the Madonna. "Oh, my good mother, here I am prostrate at your feet. Please do not refuse to hear me. I pray that you have not forgotten that I am your daughter and that I love you. Please offer for me, therefore, to your divine Son the chance for health of my poor body, for his glory. Look at the pains of my parents. You know they have only me for resources. Can I not finish the work I started? But if you cannot help me to get a complete cure because of my sins, can you ask for me, at least for some strength, to be able to help the life of my parents? You see, my good mother, they are on the verge of having to beg their bread, and I cannot think of that without being deeply distressed. Remember then the sufferings you endured the night of the birth of our Savior, when you had to go from door to seek asylum? Remember also what you suffered when Jesus was laid on the cross? I trust you, my good mother, that if you want, your Son can heal me. It is with that view to pleasing him that I have sacrificed my existence for my family, who so needs me. Please listen to my supplications, my good mother, and repeat them to your divine Son. May he restore my health if it is his pleasure, but his will be done and not mine. Let him grant me at least the complete resignation to his designs, and that it serve my salvation and that of my parents. You have my heart, Holy Virgin. Always keep it, and be the pledge of my love and gratitude for your kindly kindness. I promise you, my good mother, if you grant me these graces I ask you, to do all that will depend on me for your glory and that of your divine Son, take your dear little niece under your protection and protect her from bad examples. Make, O Holy Virgin, that I imitate you in your obedience, and that one day I possess with you Jesus in eternity." Now again, Estelle of Pellevoisin died at the age of 86. And again, the Virgin Mary appeared 15 times to Estelle from February through December 1876. And over the 15 apparitions, here are some of the things the Virgin Mary told Estelle. If you want to serve, be simple, and let your words and deeds agree. It saddens me most to see that people have no respect for my Son in the Holy Eucharist, and the way people pray while their minds are on other things. I say this to those who pretend to be pious. Then the Madonna showed Estelle a white scapula with an image of the Sacred Heart on it, and told her to ask her bishop to encourage its use in reparations to Jesus. On the scapula in which Mary appears clothed, Estelle sees depicted the heart of Jesus as it was represented from an earlier apparition, Pare la Moniella. Estelle noted that it appeared not as a lifeless image, but the heart had an appearance of living. During this revelation, Our Lady said to Estelle, "I love this devotion." And she added, "Nothing is more pleasing to me than to see this on each of my children. They can all assist to make reparations for the outrages that my Son receives in the sacrament of his love." The Mother of Divine Grace then spread her hands, and from them fell an abundant rain. Amid the drops were these words, piety, salvation, trust, conversion, and health. And Mary said, "These graces are my son's. I bring them from his heart. He will refuse me nothing." The lady then asked Estelle to show the scapula to the local bishop and asked his assistance in promoting it. And so the constant procession continues. And with the constant procession continuing, may God bless you and your family. The Very Fine Light is available on Amazon.com. Please feel free to contact me at NicoSteves.com. That's Nikos Steves, Steves.com. If you like this episode, and for more, share them with friends, and consider William J. Walsh's book, Heaven's Bright Queen, Apparitions and Shrines of Heaven's Bright Queen. Well, this is Nico Steves. Thank you. See you next time.